There's been little else that has affected the church in our lifetime as much as the clergy abuse scandals. It has rocked the church from upside down to inside out. I'm not sure if the clergy realized in the beginning how big of an impact it would have on the people of God. Well, thank God that there were many victims who refused to stay silent. Many of our hierarchy and parishioners wanted it to just go away, to disappear, to blow over. Why can't they get over it? Well, you never get over it. You might get through it, but you never get over it. It hasn't gone away. It's still here. The victims are not going away. There are still more victims coming forth every day. One great tragedy that is often overlooked is the fact that many victims were never believed when they first told someone. They were never believed by their family, who were put there to protect them. There were many that have experienced that pain. Can you imagine that? The pain of not having been believed after such a horrific experience. Victims that I know and work with all feel that the massive cover-up is worse than the actual abuse that took place with them. A huge sense of betrayal, a trust that was broken, all the effects of the abuse that victims have had to live with, of all the broken relationships that they have, and especially what it has done to their faith and their relationship with God. It has shaken it to its very core. Many have just walked away from the church. They are so fractured and so deeply hurt that they cannot stay. The trauma for them is too great. I pray that someday they will find God and the healing they seek. What a tremendous loss it has been to them and to our church. They stand at the doors of our church and ask for accountability, truthfulness, and the downfall of clericalism. Stop the cover-up, they scream. You probably know all of this, but it is so important to name it. We don't want to forget. Where is God in all of this? Where is the restorative justice? Where is the healing? Where is the hope? Slowly, I'm finding God in all of this and finding healing, which leads me to hope. I am a survivor of clergy sexual abuse. By God's grace, I have been given a small voice at the table with others who care and work for our victims. Together, we have created programs, conferences such as this, and events that have helped to bring understanding, compassion, and light to victims and secondary victims. And secondary victims are those who have been affected by the victim's abuse. In other words, their spouses, family members, friends, communities, the laity in our pews, and those who are on the margins. We do care about the well-being of these victims, don't we? We want them to reach out to us in their journey to heal. My primary goal in working with victims is to try in different ways to help them heal and find meaning in their lives once again. It means so much to those who have come forward and taken advantage of our support groups, presentations, there are one-on-one meetings and conversations we have had. And you know what? As a result of the pandemic, it seems the whole world has gone viral. Isolation is not easy. Victims experience isolation as a result of their sexual abuse. So to have imposed isolation on top of this is most difficult. But one blessing that I recognize through it all is the fact that victims are willing to gather for online support groups. What I realized is that many felt safer attending from their own homes. It offers another layer of protection for them, and it offers them more of a sense of control to be able to attend, jump on and off of the meeting, or leave if they are triggered. I began the support groups at the end of March, and we now have victim survivors attending from all different corners of the country. We meet monthly, and they are beginning to recognize one another. They are grateful to have found a group where they finally belong, where they find others who get it. They don't have to explain themselves. They find others who understand their pain. Victims have always felt that they are the only ones with this pain, the only ones who might have had this experience. And through these groups, they know they are not alone. They find through these groups that there are others out there who have similar experiences. And they look and listen for ways to help themselves heal. They listen and affirm one another and cry with one another. It's really beautiful to watch. They're not therapy groups. We don't try to fix one another. There's no crosstalk. We just accept each other totally where everyone is at. The healing is coming from victim to victim. How awesome is that? Something I never expected. Talk about restoring relationships. Talk about blessings. Many are beginning to heal. I can see it and I can hear it. It's definitely going to be a long journey for all of us. We are all in a different place in our healing, but we're supporting each other on that journey. This fills me with hope. Kristen Armstrong wrote, "It's easy to lose sight of God when life is sweet and easy. But there is something awesome about despair, and it is the closeness of God when we are at our weakness." Many of us, when we have been in despair, turn to God for solace and hope. But there are many who do not turn to God in despair. They're done. No more. Those are the hurting ones that have to be the recipients of our prayer for healing and hope to come. I would like to end with a quote from Pope Francis' apostolic exhortation, the revolution of love and tenderness. The whole of salvation history is the story of God looking for us. God offers us love and welcomes us with tenderness. That is the basis for our hope.